trying to say is hello. How are you doing? I hope you are having a great day. I thought I'd just appear very quickly on camera and let me see, turn off this lamp. Oh, it's the sun. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. The sun is like shining through. Back here, I have this towel up because when I have done some recordings, I kind of needed to block anything. So, you know, had that up. So that's why it looks weird. But anyway, I thought today would be a really good day to talk about supplemental income. I'm sorry, I'm getting comfortable here and I can't seem to really manage that. And I've got Mr. Chalupa Poopa over here. He's right next to me. And little Miss Salsa, she's down snuggled by my feet. She's a good little girl, I tell you. Good little girl. So hello there, Alps. Hello there, Mr. Level. So nice for you to be here. I like swimwear. I like that. Oh, I got some pink hands waving. Yay. Hey, Magical Nev. How are you doing, my lovely? And Sam, it's so nice to see you as well. I'm glad you guys can be here. Thank you for hopping on. I appreciate it. Okay, what am I looking at? Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so hey there, Joe. So good to see you and Curious. It's great to see you as well. Thank you so much for popping on over here. I appreciate it. Today, what I'm going to be sharing with you is one of my colleagues recently had an article that she was involved in with Truth in Advertising, I'm sorry, Tina. And I have not read it yet, but she did send it out to those of us who've been on the steering committee for the conference each year and stuff. And I thought I would read it with you guys. And it's all about this supplemental income. And anybody, hey there, Beth, how are you doing, my love? And I thought of this too, because I've already done, like, I think a video, and I've shown this website before, Business for Home, run by Teddy Boy. Teddy Boy used to be a front man for Juice Plus. And when OneCoin was around, he promoted the fuck out of it. I mean, it was like he was just promoting. Now it's on his naughty wall, which I find that so funny that there's like, no. Those we don't like because they got in trouble. That's all he's doing is he's just trying to make it look like he's playing fair. But we all know, those of us who are in this space, we all know what he's about. And he's about like, you know what? Pay me right here. You pay me and I'll promote you. Because anybody can get him to write an article on them as long as you pay him. And I found one, which I'm going to see if I can find it for you guys, where he's like self-promoting, and it was like really funny. And the reason why I was looking at this is earlier today, I was speaking with one of the journalists that I know, and I mentioned him, and she had not heard of him. And I kind of gave her the lowdown of what he does and what's his background is. And his wife, Deanie Newlander, she promoted Vima, which has been shut down. And Alex Morton was the front man for that. He was in college, good looking kid. But now Alex is like, he's a coach, he's a coach. It's just so funny how some of these top people, they just like ditch the MLM and are like, I'm a coach now, like Ray Higdon, those kinds of people, Eric Worre, all those kinds of people, Fraser Brooks. I mean, should I just keep naming names? Exactly. Pay to play. Oh, thank you. My bangs have grown out. So I was trying to do a barrel roll with them, and that didn't work because I just don't have enough hair right there. So I'm like, oh, screw it. It's just, I'm sticking up a bandana, and that's what we're doing. We're doing the bandana. Okay. We're doing the bandana. All righty. So I am going to go off the screen. Stop the camera. And are you guys seeing two black things? So I'm not really sure why that's happening. That's what I'm seeing. And I don't know if that's what you guys are seeing or not. And I want to share my screen. Share this window. Okay. And then let me remove myself. There we go. And you can see I have it, Truth in Advertising and, other type things up there. I'm not so sure if I like all of that stuff. Showing, let me try this again. We're going to just redo this, We can redo, right? Yes, we can. All right. That looks better. Okie dokie. So here is the article. Yeah, okay, it was written by Stacy. I just did not see her name up there, but see, you can see her name up there. Stacy wrote this article. And why is it still okay? I guess it's going to show like all my crap, whatever. I don't really care. Not that concerned about it. And remember, this is the girl that all because of her, this is how I found out about On Passive, is when she went missing. Just so you know. I've told that story before. It looks that way on your phone? Okay. Yeah, Sam, you probably lost your wrench because people were not observing being honeybees. And so wrenches were taken away. And I mean, and I said this yesterday when I was live, I was mortified, horrified by some of the actions when you thought I wasn't looking. You thought I didn't see things. And I wasn't going to name names, but if you're missing a wrench, you did some shit I didn't like. So, if you actually exhibit the behavior that, I want to have on my channel, then you won't have to worry about that. But if you were being buttholes, over here to people and saying things that were inappropriate, then yeah, you lost your wrench. And some people, I had given multiple warnings, but it was like, as soon as they thought I wasn't looking, it was like, bam, behavior just came back like a slingshot. It's just like, boom, there it is. And that really, really, really made me angry that you guys would treat me in that way and be so disrespectful to me and what I had said that I wanted. I wanted you guys to be honeybees, to be nice to people, because there's people coming over here that they may not even speak English. And then you start harassing people with questions and just jumping all over the place and saying horrible things. That's a really bad look. And that's not a look that I want for my channel. So, well, if you were being immature, I'm glad you apologize and I appreciate that. But it never should have happened because I had said this multiple times. And it's like literally like little kids. It's, oh, mama's not watching. Mama's not here. Yay. Look what I'm going to do now. And then you're found out because eyes are watching. And I will say this, I have a very, very close little team. It's people you have never seen in my chat, and you'll never see them in my chat. Doesn't mean they're not watching. Doesn't mean that somebody might not portray that they're me. Very, very small group of people that I trust who helps me with some really amazing information. And so, yeah, if you guys were being nasty, I know about it. I have the list of names. I have the screenshots of what was said. So just so that's out there so that you know, you pissed me off. That's why. I was attacked by an awful group of people who I don't trust because I was a mod here. I don't want that because we do good things. Yeah, we do good things. And that's exactly why I do not want people being crappy to any of the On Passive founders. I mean, if they're here, we have a chance to be able to share information with them. They may not say anything right now, and that's totally fine. They don't have to. Or they may come in and say hi. That doesn't mean that you have to pull out, some device and start choking them or something and just like, ah! Let's just not do that. Let's be mature. Let's be adults. And let's not be nasty. Hi, Jenny Jen. How are you doing? Y'all, y'all needed to join my reigns. I'm sorry, peaceful nature. I'm not so sure what that is. Oh, peaceful nature says you've always been an angel when you got a wrench. Well, yeah, I mean, anybody who gets a wrench, that's an honor to have a wrench on anybody's channel. That means somebody that person trusts you. But, you know, if I can't trust you because I see what you do when you think I'm not looking, then maybe you need to rethink your behavior. You know, that's all. Maybe you need to rethink your behavior. Peaceful Nature, JC. I don't know. Okay, you must be talking about stuff I don't know about. Doesn't matter. Anyway, hello, Hershey. How are you, my love? I hope you are doing well. Magical says, I try not to be nasty and save my ear. And that's Magical Nev. Thank you for saying that, because yeah, if you are going to, I understand people's frustration and anger about a company that I speak about quite frequently. And I'm vocal about it, very vocal about it, that I'm not a fan, and I'm not a fan of theirs. I mean, imagine that. It goes both ways. We're not fans of each other. They don't like me because, I am coming with receipts, showing things, or I'm getting information. And I've already told you and them, I protect my sources. I will always do that. So if, I get information and I cannot say where it comes from, there's a reason, because I have a source that I'm protecting. But yeah, you're pretty good. Saw your surgeon yesterday. I'm having surgery next week, so that you guys know. I have my surgery next week again for radio frequency ablation. And Beth, you're right. The members up on Passive are part of a commercial cult. They're part of that. And they're not going to respond well if people are mean to them. If you're just nice, just friendly. I mean, I don't like all the emojis myself. And you've heard me many times use your words. I mean, I'm a former classroom teacher. Of course, I'm going to say use your words, But when a lot are coming over here, I'm like, I don't want to squelch their voice. And if all they can do is put up some emojis because maybe they have no clue what's being said, I don't want to be mean to them. The MRI is run by someone from U of M. Are you having an MRI, Joe? I've been looking at stuff about the Indian billionaire son this past weekend. So now I want to learn all about India and Hinduism. Hinduism is a very fascinating religion. When I was an undergrad and I minored in theology, one course that I took was all about Eastern religions. So we covered kind of the gamut. And do you know what research paper I wrote about? If anybody can guess it, I mean, I don't know. I'll give you a virtual hug and a virtual glass of wine or something. I'm not going to OSU for the MRI. Okay, so is somebody going for the MRI? Well, and what did I just tell you? What I was going to tell you about? Crap. Now I just totally forgot what I told you and told you to guess about it. Oh, crap. If you remember, tell me, because I forget what I say all the damn time. It's just annoying, but that happens. It happens as I'm speaking sometimes, because I'm passionate about the shit that I speak about. Oh, thank you. The paper, the research paper. Thank you, Beth. That helped me out about, that you took a religion class. So I saw that. So if you can guess the paper I wrote, and I will tell you this, there was nothing written about what I did my research on. I couldn't find anything. But ever now and then in a book, I would find hints of something, and I kind of pieced it together. Oh, gee, thank you, Captain McNair. Just saying the mind is a second. My mind's still going. I'm just a little flaky. I just forget where I'm going because I usually have so many thoughts in my head. Anyway, the paper that I wrote was The Religion of Genghis Khan. That's what your girl decided to do her paper on for the semester. Big paper. Like I said, nothing was written about it. But I figured it out. And he had a shaman with him that he would do a ceremony with every time before he went into battle. And he also was very open to other religions because, a lot of people are controlled by their beliefs in their religion. So, he was like, yeah, man, whatever you believe, cool. Come on. So I always found that very interesting. Now, I don't have that paper anymore, or I'd probably rewrite it and then read it to you because, what I wrote like then versus what I write like now are probably very different. Alrighty, so back to this earning supplemental income. Now, let me find something over here. Where is it? Top earners, lifetime top earners. Okay. Teddy Boy is so interesting, and he's been spotted in Dubai before. Let's see. All right. So right here, now they're calling it the Yeager family because Mr. Yeager passed away, but he is like $480 million is the estimate. A lot of that was, his motivational organization, which I did a video on that too. But number 2 is old Igor Alberts and his ex-wife, Andrea Simbala. And they're now promoting, which I do need to look at Ma V Global with you guys. I think I'll do a live dive on that with you. I think that would be kind of fun just to look at because, I really enjoy Igor because he is such a huge personality. And he was part of OneCoin. So a top person for OneCoin, which is now on Teddy's naughty list. OneCoin is not good. No, we don't like OneCoin, but you sure as hell promoted the fuck out of it, Teddy boy. And Igor was right there too, or Igor, whatever, whatever he goes by. So I found that really, really interesting. And this was the site that I mentioned to the journalist, one of the sites, other things that I mentioned to her and some of the characters that are in here. And then I'm going, oh yeah, this person was from here and here and here. And Beth, you'll appreciate this. I mentioned all the Organa Gold connections too. It was just really kind of, she asked questions and I just kind of probably over answer. Oh yeah, I've seen his house. It's just like him, bigger than life. All right, so let's go back to Stacy's article. Okay, this is all written really big. Let me make this smaller in text or something. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Okay. So it's not humongous, but I want you guys to see it, but good gravy. Okay, earnings and lifestyle representation abound in multi-level marketing. And this is what people are thinking of. They're thinking of figures like this. They're like, I'm going to make it look. I'm going to make money like these people. That's what people are envisioning, is that they're going to start making bank. But very few people ever do there. And this is just, the first 50. There's other people making way less, as you can see. So it's, very interesting to look who's on this list. I find it fascinating because you may or may not know, I like telling the stories of where these people came from, what their MLM stories are, because I find it fascinating. You were being sweet so you could read without your glasses. Can you read it now, Joe, sweetheart? Because I want you to be able to read it. Do you need me to make it bigger? Because I will. Just want to make you guys happy. Anyway, I'll keep on reading and let me know, Joe, if you want me to make it bigger. Happy to do that. Okay. Earnings and lifestyle representation abound in multi-level marketing, MLM, promotion and recruitment. And the representations often reflect outcomes that are not achieved by the typical MLM participant. Bada boom, bada bing. Yeah. Okay, you're good. Thank you for letting me know, sweetheart. A recent Tina.org investigation found, in line with its similar investigation in 2017, that of 100 MLM companies, 98% misrepresented the amount of money typical participants were likely to earn, while most MLM participants make no money or lose money. In its earnings claim guidance document, the industry's own self-regulatory body, the Direct Selling Self-Regulatory Council, or DSSRC, acknowledges the issue of representing life-changing money, rewards, or time freedom when most MLM participants earn at best no more than modest or supplemental income, and many lose money. Now, myself, I found my check, I guess like my 1099 form or whatever, from when I was with Beachbody. And I had earned that year a little bit over $1,000. I was like, look at me, I'm making money. But I did not take into account all the bullshit I had bought in my attempt to make money with MLM. And that's what most reps don't do, is they don't think about, like, okay, I'm buying these books, I'm going to this convention, I'm joining this group, it costs me, like, all these things. I'm getting some kind of marketing type thing, like Ash Max or whatever, other kinds of crap, that you could get involved in. Trying to get your business, because you think you have a business, off the ground, and then you go like, oh, what the hell am I doing? Because then you start finding out like people don't like these things. Increasing pressure to constrain representations in MLM. Pressure is mounting for MLM firms to rein in their representations. The Federal Trade Commission has weighed in on the issue of earnings and lifestyle representations in many ways, initiating an advance notice of proposed rulemaking on deceptive or unfair income earnings claims, which some of you, I know I did, and Beth, I believe you did, participated in making our comments when the ANPR was available, and a review of the business opportunity rule. And right now, the business opportunity rule was originally designed to include MLMs, and then that part was removed from it. But we have an opportunity to reframe it. Communicating concerns directly to the DSSRC and issuing new staff guidance, which I read the new staff guidance to you guys of all of that a while ago, reiterating and expanding upon the agency's prior business guidance. And they just they went hell of a loose and just started making all kinds of assumptions that were not written anywhere, meaning the MLM companies did. The list goes on. The FTC's enforcement actions have continued to identify problems with representation. See here and here, for examples. Under Operation Income Illusion, the FTC joined with law enforcement partners to crack down on deceptive income claims during the pandemic, including the MLM industry. And the FTC issued notice of penalty offense letters to MLM firms, one of which was on passive, warning of financial penalties for misrepresentations. Add state-level enforcement actions, private class action cases, and anti-MLM content and media to the mix. The result is a spotlight on MLM claims and their potential to generate serious consumer harm. And that's exactly why I do this, is the nature of the consumer harm that happens. And even now, people who are on passive, they don't realize that they are being harmed because they're believing all the BS coming from the amigos, coming from their illustrious CEO and all of that and think like, everything is just hunky dory because they're told it's hunky dory and not to ask questions. And you only can find one source of truth, and that only source is in the back office, which no one can access because, the migration is still going on, which obviously is not a migration and they're in, hell of a trouble. But anyway, I digress with all of that. People are being harmed. And those who are hanging on to the hope of joining what they have joined, which I cover and Beth covers, they don't really realize the harm that's been done to them. For example, not listening to someone who's your actual brother, but calling somebody else your brother, and you listen to them. Hello, Yogesh. How are you doing? I hope you're doing very well. Okay, so this modest or supplemental income. Figure 1, excerpt from the DSSRC's guidance on earnings claims for the direct selling industry, highlight added. Okay, this is it right here. General principles. DSSRC cautions direct selling companies, and they could be direct selling, MLM, social selling. I mean, there's so many different names for this. So it's always funny to me when someone's like, we're not an MLM. They probably just use some other name for it. And they're really hiding what they actually are by claiming they're not. But when you really start looking at it, it's like, oh boy, looks like, sounds like, talks like, oh, must be a duck, must be an MLM kind of a thing. So, okay, I want to read this again. DSRRC cautions direct selling companies and their independent sales force members against the use of any words or images communicating that a direct selling business opportunity will result in earnings beyond what can be generally expected by the typical sales force member in the depicted circumstances, such as modest or supplemental income. So at the beginning of On Passive, people were told they could take $25 and turn that into earning over $2 million per month for the rest of their life, which that's a deceptive income claim. Similarly, the DSSRC earnings claims guidance states that phrases like time flexibility might be problematic if used to convey the capacity to earn career level income to new participants, but not when used to suggest the ability to earn supplemental income on a flexible schedule. Again, supplemental income appears to be conveyed as a safe ground. The DSSRC conveyed this same sentiment that claims of modest or supplemental income appropriately reflect the typical outcome for an MLM participant in its comment to the FTC's earnings claims ANPR, which when it argued that egregious claims have been replaced by more appropriate representations. I doubt that they all have been, because Huns are going to do what Huns do. At the time of the program's inception, DSSRC recognized that there was a proliferation of false and misleading claims being disseminated on social media regarding the amount of income that could be generally expected by typical Salesforce members through participating in the direct selling opportunity. But remember what I told you. When people are looking to join these things, like myself, I knew the person who got me into it. She claimed to be making six figures. But then you start seeing yourselves like this, making this kind of money, thinking it's possible, And maybe you're not going as high as some of these figures. Maybe I should look at, where's the other part of this? Top earners. That's lifetime. So let's just look at, does the Rising Stars, do they have their earning history in here? No, they don't. Okay. Top earners. Ambassadors, let's see, Hall of Fame. Do they have money in there? Nope, they don't have the money in there. Just the people who are those lifetime. So anyway, but you can see with looking at the lifetime, and we'll go back and look at, there's the naughty list, the MLM blacklist. Oh, I can't even freaking talk here. So let me go ahead and look at some of these to something that would be more, quote, reasonable, but it really isn't. Because all of these people are making, multiple millions, which and this is very few people within each of these companies. So it's not like it's realistic for anybody who joins to be making this kind of money. Okay. All right. Now, this was where the top earner was sitting at in Beachbody. So guess what? If you're joining Beachbody, now called Body, you're going to think, oh, look, I could do it. Oh, the Meltons. Oh, gosh. And they're coaches now, too. They were with Modera. It's funny how they don't have a picture there anymore. I find that really funny. So, yeah, you start seeing yourself as being able to do that. Or, let's just go down even more modest. Look, $500,000. That's like, oh, yeah, okay, that seems doable. Look at 400. That's the lowest of all the top earners. Yeah, I could totally do that. Maybe I'd just make a fraction of that, but I could work up there. You see how it all works? Because you start hearing about people who are actually making money, but in reality, very few are actually making bank. But you come to believe it's possible, especially when you're told you can take $25 and you can earn over $2 million a month for life when on passive first burst on the scene, so to speak. Okay. At the 2024 Direct Selling Summit, an employee of Momentum Factor, oh gosh, a company that runs Field Watch. I'm sorry, when I see some of these names on stuff, they always crack me up because they're just like so funky. A monitoring software platform used by many MLM firms. And see, that's another part of MLM is all the software that goes into it. It's part of the overall thing where people are making money off the backs of other people. The ones who are struggling, that's where they're making the money from, because you are willing to put money to invest in your business, invest in yourself, because you think doing so that you're going to get up to where I just showed you on the, the lifetime top earners. You keep seeing yourself, walking across the stage and you're going to be able to do it. You're going to rise above everything. And then again, you realize that's not happening. But, they did this math and they showed me how it was possible. Why isn't that happening? Well, they didn't tell you. Nobody wants their pope. The only people that want their pope are the people that belong to that poop seller. When we saw the FTC letters coming out and the TINA letters, we started, we started monitoring and looking for terms like other income and modest supplemental income. What we realized is that a lot of companies were not sure that that was something they wanted to search for or wanted in their results. And so what we realized quickly was that there is a lot of confusion on this. Companies are not sure that it really is a risky term that needs to be monitored for. Yeah, because you know what? Here's also the thing. Those running these companies, because in my opinion, these type of companies were created by criminals, they're ran by criminals and promoted by criminals. Because the only people who are making it are those who create them, and those top promoters, those are the ones who earn anything. All the rest are just fodder. So that's just how it goes. Hello, Baron. How are you, my love? And so again, I mean, you're seeing yourself when you join as making bank. And it takes a lot for you to realize that that isn't happening. No matter who you're listening to, what coach you're listening to, whose presentation you're going to, no matter how much motivational talk they can give you and tell you what a great opportunity it is. And, you've got to see what you have before you. Don't give up now. It's going to come. Huh. They want you to believe that for as long as possible. They want to keep you on the hook. What does supplemental income mean to consumers? Let me get a sip of my drink here. Now, I will say for me, supplemental income to me is my YouTube channel. I make maybe a couple of $100 a month from AdSense and, channel members. I'm not talking like I'm like, whoa, I'm rolling in the bucks. But I'm not doing this because I want to be rolling in the bucks. I'm doing it because of the amount of harm that I know it causes people, and the different comments that I have received over the years where people are thanking me, and then they're telling me their stories in their comments of like what they lost when they were involved or what a family member lost when they were involved. And so it's like it just keeps on kind of showing the same thing over and over again. People are trying, but it's just not happening the way that you're told. Okay. If phrases such as supplemental income are being recommended or used to represent an MLM business opportunity, it stands to reason that MLM firms and regulators need to know a few key things. First, what does supplemental income mean to consumers when the phrase appears in an MLM context? And that's exactly what I have kind of said when, like, they say different things, like they're in it to win it. What does win mean in this context? Define that. It's not defined. You need to know what some of these things that you are told when you're in on passive, what that term means, but no one has defined it. So everybody is just using it, thinking that they're all on the same page, and nobody is in on any page because it's never been talked about what that means. It's just been catchphrases coming from the top, repeated ad nauseum through those people that you see on panel all the time to people who are leaving comments on their videos and my videos, and I'm sure Beth's videos as well. It's hard because they're told not to ask questions. Yet that's also why I want them to be able to come here and ask questions. And this is why also I'm talking about things like this, because they may be listening and may hear some of this stuff and go like, you know what? This lady's making some sense. And it also shows when I share things like this or when I read from books, I'm not the only person. Beth is not the only person. We're not the only two people on this planet who have the views that we have. It's backed up because we've learned a few things along the way. Hang on just a second. My husband is texting me. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. This is, oh my gosh, this makes me so sad. At the age of 94, Bob Newhart died. That's, oh my gosh, that is absolutely bringing tears to my eyes. I love Bob Newhart. He is the best deadpan in the world. Oh my gosh. And if you guys don't know who Bob Newhart is, you need to look him up. He's hilarious. Oh my gosh, that's just so damn sad. Oh, so sorry for screaming, but there you go. Let's see. Okay. That's why, again, that's why I got thrown off with that message. I wasn't expecting that. That's why all of those catchphrases, which I can't think of all of them right now off the top of my head, but in it to win it comes as like, what does that mean? What are you in? What are you winning? How do you know you're winning? What does winning mean? What does it look like? Tell me, but they don't. It's all vague, 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 and fake, 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 fake. In general, that's what all these things are. It's all smoke and mirrors. Second, how do consumer interpretations of supplemental income or similar phrases stack up against the reality of MLM participant outcomes? We can look to some relatively new data sources for some answers. Direct Selling News published a series of articles entitled Generational Insights based on responses to the direct sales generation engagement study regarding compensation. Respondents in the study were asked, how much money would you have to make per month in a direct selling to absolutely convince that it's worth it? Older individuals aged 36 to 55 were more likely to report that direct selling would be worth it if they made $1,000 or more per month, while younger individuals 18 to 35 were more likely to respond that $250 to $499 per month would make it worth doing. Most people aren't making that, even what the younger ones are saying. Overall, 83% reported that they would choose direct selling if they knew they could make $500 of extra income each month. The article's conclusion: phrases like supplemental income are your friends. It is important to note that while these questions did not explicitly ask about expenses, a reasonable interpretation is that respondents asked about extra income. We're thinking about additional money earned net of expenses, adding extra money to existing sources of earnings, but they weren't considering what their outlay was. Mark says, in it to win it is a slogan used by the National Lottery in the UK, meaning you need to pay for a ticket to have a chance of winning. Oh, that's interesting. But see, and maybe that's what it was borrowed from. But in this context, when it comes to on passive, what is winning? What does that mean in on passive terminology? What does it mean? It's like, is it just a chance that you're going to win something? And if you win, what is it that you win and how much is winning? I go back to that. What does it look like? What does winning look like? Please let us know, Ash, what winning is. Not like, you're just going to win. Everyone's going to win. I don't want to hear that. None of us wants to hear that. That's bullshit. And you know what? A lot of founders don't want to hear that either. They're sick and tired of hearing, the vaguisms. They want to know, when are they going to see the money? Because I have a list of questions that, founders have sent in. I'm verifying some things before I speak to those specific questions, publicly. But I will. Just maybe not right now. Okay. So they're your friends. It's important to note that while these questions did not explicitly ask about, okay, I read that. I'll finish reading all that paragraph. Okay, I just had to rethink there. We, myself, and collaborators at Hamline University asked a similar question to American adults on the Prolific platform in spring 2024. Study participants were asked to watch a publicly available MLM opportunity video, which stated that participants in the MLM could build a business on their own terms to earn supplemental income. After watching the video, study participants were asked to report the minimum amount of profit someone in the MLM business would have to make in a typical year, in their opinion, for the business to provide supplemental income. Of 274 respondents, after omitting one outlier and 7 participants with inconsistent responses, the median response was $6,000 a year or $500 per month. The most common response was $10,000 a year, more than $800 per month. And the mean was nearly $12,000 a year or $1,000 a month. In this case, we use the word profit to elicit answers net of expenses. Additionally, a reasonable interpretation of supplemental income is that it supplements, adds to existing sources of earnings after factoring in expenses. While the questions and methods differ, these two studies provide insight into consumer interpretations of supplemental or extra income in an MLM/direct selling context or network marketing, social selling. I mean, again, I'm just going to throw in all those words they use trying to make that, well, we're not MLM. We're this. We're unique. We're not that because we're told we're not that. Meanwhile, again, sniff, sniff, duck, walk, quack, sound, all that stuff. It's duck, it's an MLM. They are. They're just told they're not. Market America is classic at that. They get very upset being called an MLM. So does the Magic, which I mean, that just always cracks me up. It's like, yeah, but you are. You are. You're part of the, direct selling little group thing. You're part of that. You're a member of it. But you're going to deny that you're, do those mental gymnastics. Does the typical MLM participant earn supplemental income? Simply put, no. No, based on the evidence to date. As Tina's investigation revealed, most MLM participants make no money or lose money. And that was the same as what Dr. John Taylor found as well. And he studied, I believe, 100 MLMs. And that was in, I think, the early 2000s. I'd have to actually pull up his paper again. Company income disclosure statements, IDSs, and enforcement actions all indicate that the typical participant in an MLM firm nets well below $500 a month and, again, often loses money. In a recent letter to the DSSRC, the FTC's Associate Director for the Division of Marketing Practices, Louis Greisman, identified the same concern we raise above, namely that the MLM industry is utilizing claims including supplemental income when the consumer's understanding of that term does not likely match the objective reality for the typical MLM participant. Greisman recounts a conversation with an industry executive regarding the meaning of the phrase supplemental income. And I love this because it really shows you have got to be on the same page and define these things all in the same way. Your buddies from Canada selling that water filtration system? Yep, I would say so. The Direct Selling Association, DSA, has made statements acknowledging that at best, most MLM participants make modest or supplemental income, and the DSSRC's guidance encourages MLMs to say in the IDS that most participants make modest or supplemental income. When I post a question about what that phrase means to Adolfo Franco, DSA Executive Vice President and Chief Operating Officer at DSA September 2023 Legal and Regulatory Seminar, I recall he said $12,000 per year. I then responded by pointing out that such a sum translates to $100 per month and $25 per week. Oh, $1,200 per year, not $12,000, I'm sorry, $1,200 per year. I am very skeptical that a potential participant would take away from a claim of modest or supplemental income that they would earn only $25 per week. Imagine. That's it. But there are plenty of people who are not earning $25 per week or $100 per month. Hello, Mr. I'm so sorry. I'm probably not going to say your name correctly, and I apologize. Mr. I'm so sorry. I cannot say your name, but good morning to you. I hope you are having a good one, and thank you so much for joining. But doesn't that seem very odd that this executive vice president would say $1,200 per year, that's considered supplemental income? In the States, there ain't no way that's supplemental income. I mean, no, that's not supplemental income. Look, you can earn an extra $100. I mean, everybody would love an extra $100. Why not, right? But do you want to work your butt off the way that you have to when you join one of these things and spend the hours upon hours upon hours upon hours, working more hours trying to make money out of it than you do in your actual job? No, nobody wants to do that. But that's what people end up doing time and time again. The data supports Associate Director Greisman's skepticism. Very few respondents in the direct sales generational engagement study, 10 to 13% in each age group, indicated that less than $250 per month would be enough extra income to justify staying in the industry. And those responses were likely net of expenses. Among the prolific respondents, 23% reported a minimum of supplemental income number of $1,200 per year or less. And again, respondents were asked to report a number of net expenses. Ugh. In her letter to the DSSRC, Associate Director Greisman additionally pointed out that regardless of the consumer's interpretation, the term supplemental income cannot reflect the typical outcome if the typical MLM participant earns no money or loses money net of expenses. Hey, Scam Chan, how are you doing, my love? Should expenses nullify income for many participants? Any projected earning claims, even an income claim for $25 per week, is likely to leave a net impression that is deceptive. As I've said before, I have yet to see any business opportunity marketing for any MLM that creates a net impression that most participants earn some $25 per week. And should expenses erase income for many participants? Even that claim would not be truthful. Wow. As shown in Figure 2, FTC staff guidance also addresses these issues, explicitly answering the question of whether an MLM can use modest or supplemental income claims. Figure 2, excerpt from the FTC's business guidance concerning multi-level marketing, which I read to you guys before. So it's number 19. I believe that participants in my MLM can earn modest or supplemental income. Am I allowed to say that? What does modest or supplemental income mean? See, just like me saying, what does winning mean? What does in it to win it mean? What does win mean? Tell us what that means so that everybody's on the same page. And they never do. As with all the catchphrases, they never, there's so many times I'm like, what does this mean? What does this mean? Because you haven't defined it. And they don't define it because they don't want you to know what it means. They're keeping the truth from you. That's the bottom line. That's why things aren't defined and why things are muddy. Even if an MLM does know this figure before making any claim of modest or supplemental income, it should establish what that phrase means to reasonable consumers. And I'm going to say same thing for on passive with all these terms that are not defined. You need to define them for those people who joined before they joined. You owed that to them, but you didn't. And now you've just pumped them up with, nothing but motivation for, 6 years. It must then look to whether the MLM has a reasonable basis to know that its participants generally earn at least this amount after taking into account typical expenses. If not, it should not make such a claim. Like, it should not say take $25 and you could earn more than $2 million per month for life. Shouldn't do that kind of thing. What now? If consumers tend to interpret supplemental income to mean more than what typical MLM participant net of expenses actually earns, and it appears that they do, then such phrases constitute atypical representations that have the potential to mislead consumers. This begs the very question asked by FTC Associate Director Greisman in her letter to the DSSRC. How can one use earning claims to advertise an opportunity that results in the typical participant making little or no money or losing money? This same question is being asked by the industry itself. At the 2024 Direct Selling Summit, John Sanders of Winston & Strawn, half joking, spoke to a panel about the types of claims that would be acceptable to the FTC. I have this opportunity. You should know that the vast majority of people lose money in it, and you're going to spend time and effort, and you're likely never going to receive any sort of earnings, but you have a slight chance of making some modest supplemental income. I think the FTC would be just fine with that one. But think about using that. Think about if you're like, okay, oh, you want to join my team? I mean, granted, right now, you can't become a founder, but you could become a reseller. You could, oh, but wait, you can't do that because nobody can get into the back office. But you know what? I can contact you when it's back up, which tomorrow it will be down for 3 weeks, and we're told it's a migration. Yeah, that's going to go over well. It's not. Anyway, but let's just say for some reason you're talking to someone and they're like, yeah, I'll wait, because this sounds amazeballs to me. I'll wait. It can be 6 more years that they're migrating, and I'll wait. And you're like, okay, then I'll contact you. But I just want you to know the vast majority of people are probably going to lose money in it. And you're going to spend time and effort, and likely you're never going to receive any sort of earnings because, probably you're not going to be able to sell anything. But you have a slight chance of making, some modest supplemental income, I guess. Do you really think that was actually do anything that someone would be like, yeah, I'm all over that one? Oh, yeah, the puffery. Yeah, exaggerated marketing that no rational person would ever believe that. Oh, but it was said over and over and over and over again. It was said many times. So, I mean, a one-off, sure. But the fact that it was restated several times, and the fact that it was stated in an email to Ash by Michael, because I showed that, and Ash was down for it. He approved of it. That is something right there. He was like, yeah, we can tell him that. Sure. Yeah, because Michael was doing the math and wizardry because he wanted to get people, in. And that was one way to do it, was to show them this magnificent number that they're not going to obtain. Right now, who's earning anything in on passive? Is there anyone earning any money in on passive? Other than those who, I'm guessing are probably getting a kickback from someone, just for being positive. I don't have, proof on that, but I'm telling you that's my opinion. I believe that's happening. I could be wrong, but I can't have an opinion. And I can state that it is my opinion. But if Mr. Sanders' statement reflects the truth for a given MLM, and that truth doesn't sound appealing when spoken aloud, like what I just read, like what I just said, that is all the more reason that this truth must be conveyed to consumers clearly and fully. As articulated in the FTC's recent staff guidance, should expenses nullify income for many participants, a claim that participants are likely to earn any money would likely leave a net impression that it is deceptive, emphasis added. In other words, so long as a typical MLM participant earns no money or loses money net of expenses, any claim of income, modest, supplemental, extra, or other income, is atypical, posing the risk of consumer harm. And I will write Stacy back and let her know she did a bang-up job. And this is so that you know who she is. Stacy Bosley is a Calhart professor of economics at Hamline University, where her research focuses on multi-level marketing industry and on consumer protection issues, including earnings representations and pyramid scheme fraud. Her research has been published in outlets including the Journal of Public Policy and Marketing, the Journal of Behavior and Experimental Economics, Economic Inquiry, and the Journal of Consumer Affairs, and she has served as an expert witness in consumer protection cases, including for the SEC and the FTC. Bada boom, bada bing. There you go. There you go. Because you're like, people are, they're thinking, yeah, like Carla down here. Yeah, I'm going to be able to do that. I'll be able to do that every month. I'll be able to do, a fifth of that this year. But the next year, I'm going to double. I mean, like there people are doing mental gymnastics to come up with this idea of those that they see as the leaders on stage, that are their coaches, all of that kind of stuff. They're like, yeah, I see myself doing that. That's what they believe. So that's what I had to share with you. And I wish I should have closed that, shouldn't I? But I didn't. Anyway, that's what I had for you guys today. I hope you did find this useful. There's a lot of idolizing. Yes, Jelly, there is. Absolutely, there is a lot of idolizing in MLM. I mean, I think back when I was part of Body or Beachbody. I mean, like, whatever the hell you want to call it. I really don't care. Name doesn't bother me. It might bother them. And, the whole rebranding thing, I think, is just, I have not looked at their recent payment structure, and probably when I do, because I just haven't felt like it, I'll probably just roll my eyes. Because it's like, when companies have to keep redoing their payment structure, they're redoing it for a reason, and it's typically not a good reason. It's because things aren't working. So you can't stick with what you originally said, and you have to keep on like, let me polish this up. Let me rework this. That means that they're in trouble in some way. As we have learned, those people have the big downlines. Yep, they do. I was under the top person in Beachbody after my original coach left and joined, I think, Traveling Vineyards, which, boy, they really wanted me to join that too. Given what my husband does. But I'm like, no, because I had learned by then, no, these things are not good. And it taught me a lot. And that's why, having been involved in it, having read so many of the same books that they still promote to this day to read, or coaches they recommend, Ray Higdon, Eric Worre, Fraser Brooks, all of those people. Like, I know what they're going to say, because all of them say the same thing. It's like they had their own spin on it. Like any guru in anything, they're all saying the same thing. You watch Ron in Ash We Trust. It was a full-blown tent revival. Yeah, right? Tent revival. Literally deifying Ash. Absolutely unbelievable, yet here they are. Yep. And that's something that is highly problematic, to deify someone. If that's happening to you, that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing. It's quite scary, because you're just, myself, I'm an atheist, but for those who have, religious beliefs, you're putting all your faith in this human, that they are greater than human. And that's a problem. We're all human. We're humans. Anyway, guys, I am going to get down on the go-go, and I'll probably stream tomorrow as well, because there was something else that I wanted to talk about. But I had been wanting to read Stacy's article, and I figured, you know what, I might as well read it with you guys. And I think I'm really glad that I did, because it shows. Oh, and there's something else I want to share with you too. Before I go, you guys need to know about this. Oh crap, and now I just got more stuff in my inbox. I just get way too much more crap. Okay, let me just search for their name. There we go. Okay, Michelle introduced hers and Roberta's tool, and I can drop it in the chat for you guys, and then I'll share it with you also. So here it is. Okay, so you can actually go here and use, oh gosh, I'm trying to scroll down on the StreamYard that I'm looking at and not the actual web page. Good Lord. Okay, so this is the new advocacy group, the advocacy tool. And she talks about that you will get, you put in your name, you get a personalized message, you get your zip code, you get your local representatives. Now I need to tell her, I did find a problem when I filled it out because the websites that it went to for my local representatives didn't work. But even if it doesn't work, I mean, I can actually look up their websites and, figure them out. And then it will generate this. So there you go. And here's how to use the tool, fill out the form, blah, 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 blah. Why immediate action is crucial. And that's going on this week. So I would really like for you guys to make sure that you do fill this out. Let me see if I go here. Will it take me to the form? Yeah, here it is. Let me give this, guys, to you. And I will also put it on my community tab too. So Beth, thank you for doing that. I've just been so inundated with things, with work from, not really being able to work much last week and stuff, that I had not had a moment to do that. So I wanted to make sure that you guys are aware of this, and please fill it out because it will help. It will help. I used it. I filled it out and it created, something for me, very easy to do. And that's pretty much what I wanted to share with you, is that and what I talked about earlier. So I will put that on my community tab as well. I do want to thank all of my channel members and to my patrons for being here, and to all my subscribers, new and old, or anybody in between, anybody who's not subscribed that happens to just watch this, because here I am talking some more shit, but it's not shit. It's just like, actually, I'm going over stuff that's true. I'm showing you the sources that I'm using, I'm reading his stuff. And I do think, I don't think I have the book. Do I have the book over here? No, I don't. I don't have the book. But I do think that I will go back to maybe talking about influence tomorrow. We could do that because I think it's very important, especially within the context of talking about like on passive, because we know that they are really, under the influence, so to speak. Anyway, you guys have a wonderful rest of your evening or your morning, or like whatever it is for you in the world. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. I appreciate all your support and your willingness to participate in chat, leave comments. Don't forget to, thumbs up and, do the YouTube-y things, algorithm, all that noise. Anyway, thank you so much. And a whoop, whoop for the catch-up crew, and a whoop, whoop for the replay crew as well. Thank you. And don't forget, you're beautiful and I love you. Until next time, bye all. Have a good one. Thank you again for being here.